welcome to the Peace Academy with me and Azaria. It is, let's see, May 19th at 11 or 10:11 Eastern Standard Time. We did have a bit of a delay there because I clearly have no idea what I'm doing and couldn't get my audio to work. But it's back up and running. Lovely to have you all here. And Azaria, how are you this evening, my dear?
I'm doing quite well. How are you? I'm glad that you got everything fixed. I know it was Shane's fault, but we are now here, ready to spread the values of peace, abundance, and liberty.
I can absolutely confirm that that was Shane's fault. Without any
absolutely.
doubt in my mind, I am positive. Now,
yeah.
One of the things that's going to happen, and this is happening, people, just so you know, this isn't optional. This is actually going on right now. I'm working on some gifts. This one happens to be for my beloved Crimson Clad. I started with a gift for Shane, and I started with a gift for my co-host here, Isaria, and those are done. So I have since moved on to my gift. So the show, if you're actually watching the show, is going to be a little boring. It's going to mostly be my forehead looking down, as I'm also working on the gift that I'm going to make for my peoples.
I can't wait for my gift.
Yeah, I mean, I would really set your expectations low. This is a creative gift. You know, I have a good writing talent, and I have a good speaking talent, and I have a good chemistry talent. My art talent is not, you know, I am not a black belt in art. I am a black belt in chemistry, and it's because I don't really have a lot of art talent. So this is a gift that comes with an enormous amount of love and, I don't know, not a lot of talent.
Well, that's okay. Those are the best.
Well, as long as you're content with that, it'll have almost, I mean, I am probably, as I am doing this, I am removing monetary value from the thing that I'm giving. So the more I interact with this thing, the less and less it is worth. Speaking of scams, you know, tonight's show is all about scams. Like, here's my little art scam where I'm now removing value from the art I'm providing. So that's what you get. But it does provide love. I mean, I don't know how else to show these people love. I could send them money, but I send all my money to Minnow Support. So you get love, art love instead.
I love art love.
All right. Well, then you're going to be really happy.
I'm going to take pictures of it and everything.
Well, you can't post it right away. You can't tell anybody what you got.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I have to go give this. I have to give these to lots of people. They're all going to be different. But if you tell people what they are, then the surprise is ruined for the following groups.
Okay, yeah, I won't ruin anyone's surprise though. I'm still going to take pictures.
Yeah, take pictures. You can make a post of this, but you got to wait until I've given my gift to all the mods.
Yeah, Shane wants to make sure it's not a glitter bomb.
I can neither confirm nor deny the glitter bomb status. But I will tell you, it's fabulous!
Oh!
Hey! It's
I'm
that
so
kind
excited.
of show tonight, Azara. It's that kind of mood. It's that kind of everything. Clay gets me triggered, man. He goes in and says bad things about my beloved bidbots.
Oh.
And I know bidbots are not, they're not like the world's greatest thing. I do actually know that. But that said, there's some awfully good things about them compared to what this place used to look like.
Well, when I first started, back in my day, back in my day, I had to walk up and uphill both ways to school through 3 feet of snow, and
I still didn't get up votes.
Right. So the first bidbot was Rando Whale, I believe, and I did use that, and I didn't know anything about anything. because Shane just said, hey, join the site. So I did, and I saw the Rando Whale service, and I used it. I was like, hey, I sent one SVD, and I got back 2. So to me, that seemed like a good deal. And then there was, what came after that? I think Booster, and then there was Belly Rub. So for a couple months there, I was using BidBots, and I remember talking to Clay about it. And I was just like, oh, I think they're so great. You know, it's like I would throw, whatever, $3 on it and, you know, get back, whatever, I don't know, 15. I have no idea. And Clay was the one who pointed out how he felt like it was raping the reward pool. And I had never considered it before because I didn't really understand the reward pool or the way anything worked. So Clay was kind of the one who opened my eyes to the whole BidBot thing. I don't use them anymore. I don't have an issue with people that use them, and I can see the point about like someone like Bug who wants to promote his post, or like when you want to promote Sounds of Steem. But even at that, like I still even wonder like how many people are actually going to the trending page and looking at it. I don't even know. It just seems like sometimes it seems like people are just like posting and no one's actually reading anything.
Yeah, it does sometimes feel that way. It was easier to know when there was a counter. Although I will say my vote or the post that I just made about having knocked up my wife and having baby number 3 come along the way has 700 votes on it. And my normal sort of auto vote count is typically around just under 200 votes. And I mean, most of that before some of the guys that support my work come in, you know, my posts are normally worth like $18 or something. I mean, it's not nothing, but it's not mortgage payments, that's for damn sure. And so they're normally 200 auto votes that are on them, but that baby post got 700 something. So it seems like I do have some fans that are still alive in that audience.
That's good. That is actually kind of gives me some hope, because sometimes I was feeling like people just aren't reading anything anymore. So that's good to know. I have not seen your post yet, so I'm going to check that out.
Well, it might not even be somebody reading it. I mean, it's a picture of a sonogram, and the post itself isn't super long. I mean, it's borderline shitposty, but I feel, you know, it's not like I posted a picture of a cat. This is like an embryo.
Wait a minute. Okay, so you're saying that if I post a picture of my cat, that you have a problem with that?
If it's just a picture of your cat and that's all it is, it's kind of shitposty. I mean,
I see.
You think your cat and you is like deserving of a $1 million vote?
Yes.
What are you wearing in that photo? that, I mean, maybe that could be worth more depending on the answer to that, but I don't know. I think people use people's affection for cats as a way to go garner support for otherwise crappy posts that are literally nothing more. Actually, one of my favorite kind of shit talky posts that I made when I was starting was a blogger claims to be unaffected by recent post success as he posts another picture of a cat meme. Right? Like the whole thing was he didn't give a shit anymore. He got his auto votes, so he was just going to post cat memes.
All right. Oh, man.
You know, I do sort of understand this place, right? Like, even if people don't agree with my thoughts, you got to give me some credit that I understand people's motivations and how shit works around here.
Well, I have a contest where my cat runs it, so
I'm not sure that your cat actually runs it, though.
Oh, he does. It's the MSP Music and Art Curation Contest, brought to you by Snibby the Cat. So, and he chooses.
Brought to you by. How does he choose?
He sits here with me on my lap and looks through the posts, and he chooses which ones will win.
How do you know which ones he wants to win?
He puts his little paw on the keyboard.
Really? Are you actually doing this?
Yes.
No,
Look at that picture.
yeah, Aggie's a little shocked by this. So
See, no, wait a minute. Amber just said I can attest that Snibby runs the contest. So there you go.
Talking about contest scams.
Yeah, there you go.
Here's one run by a cat.
Hey. It should be my D-Live show. All right, well.
Do you want to go talk about scams?
Yeah, let's talk about scams. So basically, in case you haven't heard, a scammer was amongst us, and he was called out. He was originally, Steem name was Fat Panda Design.
Yep.
And he switched, well, he left for a while after he scammed some money, and then he came back as Get Slothy. So,
and he's a charming dude. So, I mean, part of the challenge here is that, like, you know, people that are people that are scammers and sort of successful at it, like, they don't just, like, have a lazy eye and, you know, can't look at you straight or whatever. Like, they're charming people. I mean, otherwise they wouldn't be good scammers. So
that's right.
I mean, it's just so disappointing to, you know, try to help people. Like I helped him too. I went on he asked me to go. He wanted a witness interview, and I said, fine, I'll do one with you. And I don't know, like, you know, that when I do those things, it's a bit of an endorsement of the person that I'm doing them with. So it kind of hurt me personally to see that this dude that I was doing my best to sort of at times take under my wing has given up the life of goodness and chosen a life of crime.
Yeah, it is very upsetting.
Like, how do you do that? How do you be like, look, Isaria, I need you to go give me $5,000 to go feed my family, or but, you know, I'm really in desperate situation. By the way, I'm not. By the way, I'm going to spend this on, you know, video games and drugs or whatever. But, like, I don't understand how you live with yourself if you're one of the people that do this.
Right. Well, that's the whole thing, is that there's scammers and thieves all over the place. So, yeah, and oh yeah, that's right. He ran that community too, the Unmentionables.
He ran Unmentionables and apparently stole money from them, which, I mean, that to me is the worst. Like, he got all these people that were drug addicts together, and he stole money from people that were trying to recover from drug addiction. Like, that's a really shitty thing to do.
Yeah. Like, there's a couple of, like, as far as your question about why, you know, it's either someone who is, for lack of a better word, a sociopath.
Yeah.
Or he really does have a drug abuse addiction problem. People that have serious drug addiction problems don't, you hear, you know, they steal from people all the time because their addiction is greater than any sense of guilt that they may feel. But, you know, I can't even confirm that he really has that addiction, because for all I know, he's just a scammer, and he's just saying that. So.
Well, that's what the Real Wolf was saying. I mean, part of this was that, like, he would borrow money and then a couple weeks later would have, like, an excuse of, oh, I got into a fight and had to go to a hospital. Oh, I had to do this thing. Oh, I had to do this other thing. And there was always a magic reason why your money was gone. Although there was evidence that he was using this money to gamble. So one of the most likely things is that he actually had a gambling addiction. And whether or not he had a drug addiction, I don't actually know. It's just, yeah, so I can't is saying Drawingly was saving money for a necessary surgery, and he stole money from her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah,
like,
you have no conscience at that point. So he's either a sociopath, a narcissistic sociopath, or the addictions, whether it be drug or gambling. When people have those addictions, it outweighs having a guilty conscience.
I mean, that's what Rick James is saying. Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah. Yeah, and the way that he would operate was that he would like Agrid said, he's very charming and very friendly, and always has great ideas for communities, and he gets people involved with communities. He would target people that he knew had money.
Yeah,
Or
he got Neoxin, he got the real wolf. I
right.
mean, I probably would have given him money too if I felt like he really needed it for some reason. You know, the people that I've helped a couple moms from getting evicted, you know, I'll help people. I just don't like um I don't know. I want to help people that are in the process of helping themselves. I worry that like, you know, if I don't want to just enable people, at some point you have to hit bottom and change your ways. So if good people are in sort of a shit spot for a moment, that's one thing. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, people
Well,
have to
yeah,
change their own behaviors.
right. The thing with him was that since the beginning, and I knew him when I first joined because we actually met on Facebook
But
at the same
he
time
was
that Shane
literally
and
one
I,
of like the first 25 people that came in here. So,
along with me and Shane, yeah,
yeah,
because we all came in together because we were in a Facebook group.
you were in
And
the Facebook group with him.
yep, that was
That's
when I first joined. We
that's
met on
hilarious.
Facebook. We joined, yeah, we joined. It was his Facebook group too.
Because I
And
was thinking like when he kept trying to pressure me of like how important he should be or something, and I was like, dude, you got a Facebook group of 50 people. Like, who the fuck cares? There's not going to be anybody that's going to be that meaningful that comes out of it.
oh, I know. I
Well, right, but
remember.
you were there and you were meaningful. Thus, irony.
Yeah.
So I guess I owe him a debt of gratitude because I consider you a dear friend. And,
Yeah.
you know, there's a reason that I made your gift first, Isaria, because I love you
Oh.
best of all. Don't tell Shane.
Oh, is this being recorded? I need to save that. I'm going to save that
Yeah, it's
recording.
recorded. You
Yay.
can hear my forehead
Yay.
say it. And then I made Shane's next because I was like, well, if I'm going to send something to a man's wife, I should probably send something to him too, so that he doesn't think I'm being too sassy or too forward.
Oh, here he is. I don't think he cares.
Oh, but you know he deserves this. I'm not just. You know, I could have made him like a little poop emoji and sent that away, but
You
I
still should.
I could, but I'm not gonna because I love that Shane guy too, and he earned his work of valueless art. I was gonna say priceless, but like just because you can't put a price on it doesn't mean it's good.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I remember when that fat panda got mad at you for some reason, and then he left the Minnow Support Project.
Yeah, well, I wasn't
And
taking his shit.
yeah. And see, now the thing with him is that you would see since the beginning that he would come up with these posts. That he had the big post about I overcame my drug addiction, and then a few weeks later it would be something horrible happened to me. I'm in the hospital now,
Yeah,
and it would just like every month there would be some new tragedy that would happen where he was trying to gather upvotes or SBD, and those are just red flags for me right off the bat. I never trusted the guy,
yeah, and
and he kind of fell off the face of the earth after he took the money from Neoxin and wouldn't give it back, and then he came back on his got slothy, and then started with the same crap.
yeah. I wonder if he's gonna come back with like a, you know, like skinny hippo next.
Right. Yeah, he's going to have some kind of like animal theme. So just watch out for a user with an animal theme. But yeah, the process that he would do, he would try, and what a lot of scammers do is that they will try to gain your trust and try to gain a relationship with you by either giving something to you or in his case, he was completing small transactions. So he gained trust by saying, hey, man, can you lend me 5 SBD and I'll give you back 10, stuff like that. And he would follow through with those. So then that gained trust. So he did that a few times with these people, and then he went in for the big kill. Like, hey man, give me $1,000 for this huge project investment thing that I have going on. And then he just stole it from people.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty shitty. Like, there's not a lot of other words or other things I know to say other than, but I've been saying since the beginning and have a number of posts. I guess I haven't done one recently, but, crypto's the wild, wild west. Um, this is not your average run-of-the-mill place. There are scammers here, and I mean, it's a place where you have to learn to be careful with your money and careful with your friendships and careful with a lot of things. And I think, some of that is why people are hesitant to give brand new users votes. I mean, it's not only is it more financially rewarding to go support um, people that have been on the platform for a while, because that's how Steem works, that the higher your rep, the more likely it is that you'll collect rewards. But simultaneously, it's like, if you go and support people that you don't know, you are constantly putting yourself and others at risk that they are horrible people and you're encouraging them to be on the platform.
Yeah, that just reminded me of another post that I think the Real Wolf found out, or was it? It was the artist. Someone found out that someone who's been here a while with a pretty high rep has been posting artwork that was not their own, and they were finally found out who it was, called them out on it, and now the real artist is here. And people like Dracos were, upvoting it, like they didn't know. They're like, wow, look at this great artwork, and we're supporting this person who's stealing artwork from someone else.
Yeah, that's pretty shit.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like how much is your integrity worth?
Right.
Now, if I'm starving and more importantly my kids are starving, then my integrity probably isn't worth all that much, to be honest. But, if there's any way for you to make your $9 in a post without lying to everybody, then it seems like that's also a lot more sustainable, like
Mm-hmm.
I've always tried to think about this place from a long-term vision of I'm going to be here for a while, so I better respect this place and be good to this place and not be a scammy asshole about everything that I do here. And that's like a life choice.
Yeah. I was just thinking the other day, since me and the scammer started at the same time, thinking about everything I've done and the growth that I've made on the platform, as opposed to what he did. If he put in the same amount of effort as what I did, he would have more than what he has. Now he has nothing.
Yeah, now he's got whatever he stole, and that's it. And presumably, if anybody finds him again, he's fucked. So
Right.
he can't like speak in voice to any of these people. People recognize his voice. He can't if he comes back to minnow support. We're on the lookout for this, so hopefully we'll catch him. He's kind of cooked on Steem, and
Yeah.
that's too bad
And you know
because
what?
Steem's a good place.
And you can also sense, even from texting patterns. I was reading about, yeah, there's the post from the Real Wolf. That's Ben right there. I was reading about scammers, and it was interesting that they often have frantic texting techniques. And if you look at the little picture that Shane put up, you can see like they'll happen like quick little lines of text. It's like, I noticed that about him. Now that I see Get Slothy, I was like, oh, I recognize that same texting pattern from Fat Panda. And that's actually something that is common with scammers, which I think is interesting.
Uh, what do you think it is about them being skimmers? Is that just like some kind of faulty human programming about how to communicate with people that's indicative of lack of empathy or something?
I think it's like when I was reading about it, it says it's like they often exhibit erratic or dramatic behavior and frantic typing patterns. Erratic behavior keeps the target on edge. That's what Clay says. Yeah, that makes sense. Like you see that pattern, instead of just typing out one paragraph of text. Or it's a demon that takes over. That's possible too.
It's a demon. I mean,
the scammer demon.
I mean, it might, I'm not opposed to thinking that this gambling asshole is addicted to drugs to some extent. He probably is. I mean, it's a pretty intense thing to come up and say, like, I'm a former heroin addict. I mean, maybe that's your scam line, but most people are like don't feel tons of sympathy towards heroin abusers.
Well, that was his thing on the platform, is that it was everything that he ever did was a sob story to try to gain sympathy. And when he wrote his post about being a recovering heroin addict, it was from the perspective of, these are the hardships that I encountered in my life, which led to this drug abuse, and now I have recovered from it. And he got carried on that. He got huge upvotes on that. So that was his little shtick thing. And then it moved on to being in the hospital because he got beat up. Then it moved on to he couldn't get his passport, and he needed help getting his passport to get out of Thailand. Then his sister had cancer. Then he lost someone stole his computer.
Yeah, so much bad stuff that just keeps requiring money.
Right.
Amazing.
And what he did withdrawingly, another technique from scammers, they may attempt to lure you into another network or means of communication, like a personal email or text. So he actually took Drawingly off of Discord and brought her into another chat. That's what Crimson was telling me.
Where did he take her?
I don't know. She didn't tell me what the chat was, but it was a different crypto chat.
That's interesting. So, like, he was trying to isolate her from her peers so that it was less likely he would get caught?
Yeah, he took her into Skype. That's what Cope said.
That's weird.
Well, that's what he did with that one girl on Neoxian's post that had the girl. She's not even on Steem it. And that's some, other woman that met him on Facebook, bought a bunch of his Panda coin.
Yeah.
And then she gave him, was it Ethereum? I think 4.5 Ethereum.
Holy shit.
Yeah, she lost a lot of money.
Oh, I guess I saw her. I saw that video. I didn't watch the whole thing. Otherwise, I wouldn't be so shocked by the fact that it was 4.5 Ethereum. But like,
yeah, I don't know how. You know what? At some point, you have to.
Are you about the victim blame here?
I'm sorry.
Go victim blame. Do it. Do it. We can talk about this afterwards. See what you're gonna say.
I'm sorry, but geez,
you just shouldn't have been wearing that dress. Neoxian. Like, you just look too sexy, and that's what happened. That's what happens to sexy young boys that are out there on the street. You're gonna get taken advantage of. Yeah.
Oh no.
No, I'm gonna go with people shouldn't scam.
Yeah.
And just because you're a good human being and don't suspect that everybody's a scammer, doesn't mean that it's your fault.
But it's not that I want to blame them, but I want people to be aware, and that's why I wanted to do this show and talk about these techniques that people use so that people don't fall victim to it.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking, right?
Yeah, it pisses me off.
Especially Drawingly. Hey, here's this terminally ill person. Let's go take... Yeah, she's not terminally ill, but...
Well, yeah, she has huge medical problem. So...
Yeah, let's go take this person that is clearly at a giant life disadvantage and fuck with them. I don't know.
Right.
Well, it makes me mad because so Drawingly is actually one of my cases where I actually sent her some money to help her. So I gave her 100 SBD to help her cover her surgery. And so in some ways I got scammed out of my 100 SBD because it went apparently to this shithead. So
yeah, I sent her money too. I know.
Well, apparently you gave money to get frothy too.
Yeah, that's why I'm so pissed off.
I mean, it's just shady. How do you do that to people? Like, I love people. I know that people can sometimes be selfish and greedy and bad, and But I generally think that's because the world economic system is so shot, right? Like if people had abundance, if they had enough, maybe there would still be some scammers, but I would imagine there would be a lot fewer of them. And they'd probably be scammers for things that were difficult to come by, which wouldn't be money at that point.
Yep, there's certainly something to be said. Soundwaves needs you to send him money because his boat has cancer. So,
Oh, dude, Swoop, I'm so sorry to hear about your boat.
Soundwaves, I'm sorry, you have to make a post about it first, and then we'll send you money.
Yeah, I need to buy a machine that can polish my dog. Like my dog hasn't been polished in 20 years. And if I don't get this, it won't be shiny.
That's right. Oh, I'm sorry.
Our animals deserve to be polished. And if it doesn't happen, there's going to be a dog catcher involved. I'm going to put the dog down. I mean, I don't mean kill it. I mean, put it down where somebody can't see it because it's not appropriately polished.
People want to know if that's a euphemism.
It's not. I literally mean we have to go apply polish to my animal. Not a euphemism. Not particularly important to do by most people's standards.
There's a lot of issues that people are having in chat. Like, Clay says his Lambo's out of gas and dying of thirst.
His Lambo's out of gas. Oh
yes.
Oh, Clay, that's the best.
Artemis North says that she stubbed her toe and she'll never wear sandals again unless you help pay for the surgery. Yeah. So, come on, we have to help people. Everyone needs to make a post about it.
My Lambo's out of gas.
I know, it's horrible. Clay, it's tragic.
Me. I mean, how can I sleep at night knowing his Lambo doesn't have enough gas?
I know.
How do I come to work tomorrow and
you
not
can't
work that entire day thinking I'm going to save all the money I make and put this into gasoline for Clay's Lambo?
Please, you're a horrible person if you don't, which reminds me of the other point. The scammers will often use emotional manipulation if they're not getting what they want. So if they don't get what they want right away, it'll turn into an emotional technique to make you feel bad or guilty for not helping them.
Yeah, one of my favorites was so my wife's best friend and maid of honor was married to a guy that had some issues, and they were getting divorced because he had issues. And at one point, he's like, "If you leave me, I will kill myself." And that is the ultimate form of holding oneself hostage. I don't know if you guys have heard that term before, but that's something to definitely look out for when people start holding their physical health hostage. That is not like a balanced, healthy thing that people will be doing with you. That is a manipulative as fuck kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Isaria, if you ever try to leave this radio show, I will show up to your house and blow my head off. Like, what? I mean, people that say shit like that, I even felt creepy even saying that, to be honest.
Yeah, I've heard people that have gone through that. Like, if you leave me, I'll commit suicide. I actually know people that have had that happen to them.
Have they actually committed suicide when they left, or were they?
Yeah.
Did they not leave?
Yeah, the person that I knew, their girlfriend said that, and she did attempt suicide. Luckily, she was saved and is still alive. She was taken to the hospital and revived
in a way that she knew she was going to be rescued.
I don't know.
Was this like
you never know?
Level of manipulation where she was like?
It's possible.
Like that's pretty intense too.
Yeah, because it was pills, so I mean, she could have taken just enough, or not enough, I should say.
So I was engaged once, and that didn't end well. And then the next girl I dated, it literally ended with my mom taking her to a like literal insane asylum, as I was like far out of state trying to get away from this chick. And she at one point had like literally gone out and beaten herself and said, "My dad's in town. You have to protect me." And but it wasn't her dad. I eventually met her dad. Her dad was this like really calm, nice, charming dude out of the Midwest. It made almost no sense where this like crazy psychopath came from. But I've been in that. What's the movie where there's like the absolutely crazy woman that's in love with an author?
Oh yeah, with Kathy Bates.
Yeah. What
Yeah, the
movie is
Steve.
it?
That's the Stephen King book.
Yeah. Somebody's gonna know.
Yeah, I
That's
can't
like
remember
the
the name.
closest I've gotten to actually reliving that moment.
Yeah, that's crazy. Wait, yeah, it's Misery.
Yeah.
It's 50 Shades of Grey. Clay sent you a present, so you need to.
Clay sent me a present. My land.
Yeah,
Oh, that is lovely.
it's a deep dream
Yeah,
Aggie. Yes.
I like that.
Yeah,
Well,
we love the deep dream.
it
Yeah.
even has my beard sort of in there. Like it's like the computer knows that I'm often bearded.
The computer knows.
It does. That's all
Hey,
right.
Shane wanted to can you talk a little bit about Shane wanted me to ask you about your thoughts on, oh damn it, I can't remember the name of the song. You made a post about the song. Um
Oh, this is
this is
America.
America? Yeah, yeah.
What's he want to know?
He just wants to hear you talk about it.
Um, well, This is America. All right, so the first thing that comes to mind about This is America is that it's not an amazing song, right? Like, it shot up out of nowhere to be this. It has 100 million views, and it's been around for like less than 2 weeks. So it's a song that literally came out of absolutely nowhere. And one of parts of the things that make this like really viral is just how extremely violent it is. I mean, they execute a hooded man in like the first 30 seconds of the show or the first 30 seconds of the song. Um, so like my spidey sense is tingling for this one immediately because of like, well, they don't the people that control the media don't typically let things go viral that they themselves don't want to go viral. All these programs have ways to throttle back views and take things off of trending and hide them. That's part of why I like being on Steem so much is that you like if I follow somebody, I know I'm going to see their freaking posts. And it doesn't matter if it's got 8 views and $1, and it doesn't matter if it's the hottest thing ever. I'm going to get to see it, and more importantly, people are going to see my posts when I put them on their wall. So all my concerned citizen watchdogging will go as viral as I can make it due to my follower count. So that song is just intensely violent, and it's not that good. Like the music just doesn't like blow my mind. Donald Glover is a really good dancer in it, I thought, and it's got some like viral things to it, just like being in the warehouse and kind of the whole crazy scene and crazy setup. It is actually kind of compelling from that sense, but not from like holy shit, this is God's gift of music here. Like I definitely didn't get that vibe at all coming off of it. Um, but the other thing that struck me about that whole thing was that nearly immediately after it came out, like the Al Jazeera, Washington Post, and a couple other places came out with like videos that were analyzing the racial elements of it. And it's like, I don't know if you've ever looked at like the Huffington Post is made up of like entirely white women in their 40s. Like the demographics of some of these groups don't lend me to think that they have like a hip hop correspondent that is central to how they report. So the fact that like it's 2 days later and they have analysis that's showing that This style of dance that Donald Glover is doing is highly indicative of a character called Jim Crow that was based off of the Jim Crow era, that's based off of these laws. Um, so they just had all this like really detailed, something that like, you would expect somebody to go write a PhD on, like, okay, let's talk about race in America. We'll use this as an example, and we're going to go into this at like a pretty intense level. We're going to analyze the clothes, and I can show you that the pants that he was wearing, they are indicative of Civil War era. Though, like making those kinds of observations, I believe people can do that. I just don't believe that the Washington Post can do that 2 days after the video comes out with any kind of integrity. That it's not somebody handing them a clip to say this is, or a story and saying, this is what you're going to share about This Is America.
So then who do you think is providing that information then?
Probably the director or the people that made them create that film or that music video. Like they had, there's a lot of symbolism that's involved in this thing. I mean, they had literally death riding a pale white horse in it. There's a brief scene where death is either chasing a police car or behind a police car, but just randomly there's a death on horseback. So there's all kinds of like weird symbolism that's part of this, and there's a lot of weird symbolism. And the guy's wearing like an Illuminati jacket to whatever the red carpet event was. So it's not like I have to put on my like full PhD research outfit in order to go figure out that this guy associates himself with the Illuminati and that sort of element. I mean, he's literally wearing a giant pyramid eye like you would find the dollar. It's like emblazoned in gold. Like he is strutting with this thing, not like carefully hiding his identity. He is like shoving it in your freaking face. So I don't feel like I'm taking that big of a leap saying, there's an agenda to this song. They're like purposely showing us that there's an agenda to this. They like, I don't know. So, what are my thoughts? My thoughts are, I think a lot of this stuff serves as a distraction. So, like, this is sort of a good segue because this is a scam show. So let's go. One of the scams is that, like, okay, um, last week, did you know about the sealed indictments? Do you know what I'm referencing when I say that, Azaria?
Slightly. I've heard you talk about it.
Okay, so right now, there's 30,000 sealed indictments. Does that sound like a lot or a little?
30,000?
30,000.
That sounds like a lot to me.
Yeah, the normal amount is 1,000. So like just your like average month of criminal behavior that they're not like ready to go live with or kind of mainstream with, or for some safety sake they don't express. For that, there's typically 1,000 of these things, and right now there's 30,000. So that, to me, that 30x change is indicative that there's a lot of shit going on behind the scenes. One of the first unsealed indictments that we saw was Keith Raniere. Do you know who that is?
No.
Man.
I know.
All right. So Keith Raniere is the guy from Nexium. Do you know what Nexium is?
And isn't that an antacid?
My short answer is no. Do you know what criminal environment or criminal activity Allison Mack has been involved in?
I have heard of the name Allison Mack.
Okay. So Allison Mack was a star on Smallville, which was some Superman show.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
But she's actually indicted for being sort of like a mistress in what the media calls a sex cult, which is not actually well, it is a sex cult. That's a true statement, but it's actually hiding their real purpose, which is a child trafficking outfit. So she was like, a recruiter for him, and she was like a high profile person, uh, basically getting kids and other actresses to go join this weird cult. And that cult's been around for years. It's not like this is like a brand new thing. She was part of this thing for 10 years, and there's concerns going back about this for years and years. Like there's mainstream media stories, and yet nothing's done about it, largely because people like the Clintons and the Obamas and the last like multiple administrations have all been in on the gig. So it didn't go anywhere. Um, but they, one of the big things that happened, do you know who Anthony Weiner is?
Yeah, I've heard of that name. He showed his wiener.
Yeah, Anthony Weiner was he was showing his cock to a bunch of underage girls, and he got catfished, right? So they knew this guy was crooked, and they knew he would go for this, so they catfished him, and and when they got his computer, it had a file on it called life insurance. And that file that had life insurance written on it was an expose of Clinton crimes going back for over a decade. And then after that, all these pedophile busts started happening. So now that under Trump, there's been something like 4,000 pedophile arrests, whereas like Obama had less than 1,000 or so. So Trump's been here like a year and a half and has done 4 times the pedophile and human trafficking arrests that um, Obama did, I think, in 8 years. So, so that's sort of promising. But the one of these indictments that has been sealed, this being of the 30,000 variety, um, one of the ones that got unsealed recently was Anthony Weiner. And Anthony Weiner is now getting busted. So the first one that got unsealed was Keith Raniere. The third one that got unsealed is Anthony Weiner. The second one, I think, is Comey, Hillary, Loretta Lynch, and maybe Robert Mueller. Um, but that's a criminal conspiracy that's ongoing too. But as soon as, literally, as soon as the headline came out that um, Anthony Weiner's indictment got unsealed, we had the shooting in Santa Fe. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't trust all these things, in part because in 2012 the NDAA was signed and it made it so that it repealed the Smith-Mundt Act, and the Smith-Mundt Act forbid the government from creating psyops on American soil. So that became legal. So now you can run psyops, and now we have these kind of like mass shootings that happen all the times with gun-free zones, and the shooter is always on some kind of psychotropic, and there's always some kid on CNN the next day calling for gun control, and um, usually on the cover of whatever magazine there's somebody that has bare feet, because that seems to be an inside joke to the guys that are doing this. And usually you see them smiling on camera like, oh, haha, my whole school got shot up, but I'm going to smile on camera because I get to be on CNN. Yay. So, but all this, my point is that we have to be diligent because, you know, they're going to give us, here's the story, the real thing that happened is that one of these sealed indictments is for Anthony Weiner, and it's for sex crimes and other things, I think. I forgot what the actual text of that thing is, but he's going down for real, legit crimes. And the next, like the next day, there's suddenly a school shooting. I've noticed in the media for a while that whenever there's a story that the elites don't want to be on air, you are nearly assured of some kind of mass casualty event happening in very short order, from the release of like, here's this big story, to, oh my God, all these people just died in this horrible thing. Everybody look at this instead. It's horrible and you have to look. And the story gets buried. That was really the lead story.
So it's a psyop to distract people.
So it is a psyop to distract people. And that's what we live in, people. Sorry to blow the lid on it. It's pretty shitty. But
Yeah, that's fucked up.
once you can spot it, once you spot it, you're like, hey, that seems like an important story. And then you go and look the next day and you're like, hey, how come that story went away and instead we have this like crazy news story instead? Where did that come from? And then suddenly it makes more sense that, you'll see this pattern. Once I explain this pattern to you, you're going to say, wow, Aggie is a crazy, crazy guy. Can't trust him. He doesn't make any sense. That can't possibly be the truth. And then you'll live your life and you'll see the next big major story that breaks. You'll notice that shortly thereafter, there's some mass shooting and they pull everybody's attention to that. And it's as if that other story never happened. It's as if Anthony Weiner never got busted for all his pedophile crimes. We're not going to talk about that. Look over here. Look at Santa Fe. Hey, let's do gun control. Look at this. Shiny ball. Distraction over here, people. Don't get caught up in that. Does that make any sense to you, Isaria, or do you just think I'm nuts?
No. No, I hear you. I think that's really interesting and unfortunate about that Smith Act that you brought up.
Yeah. Well, people thought I was nuts when I was talking about it back in 2012. They're like, dude, Agro, shut up. Nobody wants to hear your shit, man. You're such a downer. Let's go kick you off of Facebook.
So basically, the because of that act, you can basically post fake news, is what that is.
Yes. Yeah, fake news was actually created in 2012 by the Smith-Mundt Act. That's why they know that it's such a real thing, that fake news is real. Make no mistake about it. You guys get fake news all the time, and it's legal. And it has been legal since 2012, although there does seem to be a Trump executive order saying this is no longer okay. But that's not law, that's an executive order.
So what does that mean? It can't be put into effect?
No, I think it means that basically as long as he is president, um, that has some truth to it. Or like he can do something from an executive standpoint to go cause harm to the people that might be spreading those lies, but it's not actually a law. It's an executive order. So I don't. Executive orders aren't really in the Constitution and explained all that well. So I'm not entirely sure what kind of legs a executive order has. So maybe it has some teeth, and maybe he can cause consequences to people. I actually don't know. But there is an executive order that he put out that said fake news is no longer tolerable. You can't tell lies, but it doesn't have the same standing as a law in the books because it's an executive order and it's not actually like a bill that was passed by Congress.
Jay Folkman wants to know if you can point to the executive order.
No, I can't. I got a meme somewhere that lists all of these, and I don't have that like handy. I would have to go look through 30 different Meme the News posts. I mean, if I were you, I would just Google something like list of executive orders and try to, under Trump, and people have tallied these things before and see if you can't find the one that does that. I know that's not quite as satisfying as me just having the answer.
Banning fake news is fake news. That's what copes.
Yeah. Well, again, it's not, I mean, it's not a law. So there's actually some truth to what Cope just said, that it's not even really banned. It's like temporarily restricted as long as this executive order holds. I mean, I'm still thinking that it's a real possibility that we're going to see people like Hillary Clinton like perp walked in chains in front of us on TV because they're criminals, and it seems like Trump is pretty dead set on arresting a whole bunch of these people, and he's just currently dismantling the sort of underside and the underbelly. Part of a non-K or non-knowledge's research has been figuring out how people like Mitt Romney and Bain Capital are tied to sort of South American gangs, and then we're seeing that some of these gangs are getting imported and sort of let through borders. So like I'm not a big border guy. I'm kind of like borders shouldn't exist. But when I know that various political parties are literally importing criminals from outside of the country to go commit crimes here, and they're doing it under the guise of like standard, hey, these are just good people and we just need to bring them in. We just need to get these refugees. They've had a tough time and we have to support them. And we got to take care of them because we're America and that's what we do. Oh, and by the way, like they're literally MS-13 gang members. Like I don't mind helping some moms that like have kids and are struggling for whatever reasons, but I don't really feel the need to go support financially or for any other reason a bunch of literal gang members entering our country, or like any, not in my backyard. You go storm Mexico or something. Maybe they'll take you.
Yeah.
So mostly I think let's open up borders because borders are bullshit and people should be free and all of these
Yes.
things are nonsense. But
I agree with that.
as long as, but like if the borders and the people coming in are literally like dressed in tattoos, threatening you, your family, your neighbors, or whatever, like I stop feeling that way, and I don't feel bad that I no longer feel that way.
Yeah.
Because I like my kids. I prefer my kids to be like safe, healthy, happy, well, and that doesn't seem to be possible with at least the last couple administrations. I get really nervous that what we're really going to have happen is that um, Trump does seem to be getting rid of all these pedophiles. I do actually think that's happening, but I'm really nervous about all of his relations with Israel, and I'm worried that we're trading sort of a one weird cult for some sort of like dual Israeli citizenship group that again doesn't have America's best interest at heart, but have Israel's Middle Eastern best interest at heart, and that doesn't feel good to me either. So
Hmm.
I put that in there because it's like, hey, let's go talk about scams. Just because we get rid of the Clinton crime cabal doesn't mean that like our job is now done. We've succeeded and everything is happy now. It's like, well, what's in its place? What do we have to watch out for? Like this whole political thing seems to require basically infinite levels of vigilance.
Right. The world is filled with horrible people and scammers. So that's the.
And that's it, guys. Hey, have a great show. Glad you're here. It's wonderful that you all came. Thank you. And good night.
We always end the show on such an uplifting message.
Well, I do actually believe in the empowerment that comes out of these conversations. That if you never pay attention and you don't think about them and you just live your life and do the things you think you're supposed to do because that's what the anchor man tells you to do, and you don't question it, and then you're like, hey, how come my kids have autism? Hey, how come my parents are dying of heart disease and cancer? How come these kids that I sent to public school can't do basic math and don't really read all that well? Like if you don't question this shit at all, and all these bad things happen, and you're just sort of left there wondering like, why God, why did this bad shit happen to me? And if you have some level of skepticism and look into all this shit and realize that there's some really unhealthy aspects that are being literally perpetrated on the American people, then you're not caught so unawares. And when you're not caught so unawares, you have a better chance of having healthy family members, having better educated family members, having made a different set of decisions that lead to a better set of health conditions and life conditions.
Absolutely.
And that's scary to think about.
Yeah, and like you know, being on Steemit is just a microcosm of that macrocosmic idea that you just put forth. So you always have to
vigilance,
question, constant vigilance.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks. It would be better if you could just believe people.
Yeah.
But, you know, at some point, it's like that line in Batman that you're either the good guy or you live long enough to be a bad guy. I mean, you guys, I work my ass off to be constantly kind, caring, and giving back to this platform. But 5 years from now, maybe I'll be a sloth, and you guys need to call me out because I don't live up to the values that I have been sharing for years. And there's a real chance of that. There's a real chance of that for any of us. So, hopefully somebody is vigilant with me too and holds me to the same standards that I'm holding myself to now, that will have that in years' time too. And,
I will.
Other people. Yeah, please do. Please do.
You got it.
Deep dream image of me. That thing, I think that's going to go. I don't know where that's going to go. But I look Starry Night. I look, yeah, there's the that Jim Croce stuff. Sorry, I wasn't looking through the chat. I was looking through the work I was doing on Kermie's Present. But I think I'm done.
The art project is complete.
The art project is complete. Well, the art project is as complete as I know how to get it. She's going to look at this thing and be like, why did you give this to me? Because it doesn't make it, like, there's a skull for this one. I'll just put that in there. So I went with skull, but this is not normal skull. So when she shares a picture, this isn't my best work. It's too detailed, and I'm not enough of a detailed guy. But I made it with love. I spent a couple hours on it. Hopefully she likes it.
Oh, that's so nice.
Well, I really love you guys. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to do. I could go give you all my money, but then it wouldn't be here for the minnows. So.
Well, we love you too.
I mean, I do in some ways give you all my money. Like there's 20,000 Steem power sitting on MSP mods. There's 15,000 Steem power sitting on Aggroad. Like, there's more money going to the mods than there is to me. We do that for MSP Active. I have that for MSP Waves. I have 20,000 Steem power sitting on Minnow support now. That all stays there and goes to all the 7,000 random best friends I got.
Yeah, you know what? Seriously, I don't know that people understand that about you as much as you. Like, you don't, go around saying that a lot. How much you are actually giving away to other people. Like, you could just keep that all yourself, but you don't.
That's what most of the witnesses do. Most of the witnesses just fucking. I started cashing out 900 Steem per week. So the witness rewards are 1,500. I now cash out 900. Half of that goes to pay for my family. Half of that now goes to go work on some projects. One of which I'll share right now. So here is, I'm going to go show this. I showed this to Isaria earlier. Steem Monsters. Check this shit out. Please don't buy stuff yet because I don't know that it's actually working today. I think it's going to start working tomorrow. But go check that thing out. That's steammonsters.com. I got a game. That's coming like this week. The game isn't functional yet, but you can buy the cards. You can see the cards. It's all there. So, like, what do I do with some of that money? I buy art and programming and all this other shit to go build games for the network so that we can have our own crypto kitties.
Yeah.
What's the other one? I'm working on. So like Steem Gigs is cool, but it's not like a functional website. I'm paying somebody to go build like a job board. I put out one of them and it kind of sucked. So now I got to go make a second one. But So some of that money that I'm taking out, like if I delegate it to the project, the money goes out to the people that are in the project, but then there's no money for me to do projects. So I took out some money for me to live off of. I take out some money to go run projects, to go sort of like put new cool shit on the block. And then I have money that comes back into Minnow support. So right now it's something like between 500 and 1,000 Steam power goes back into community projects around here every week. So
That's wonderful.
that's what I do with it. I mean, I don't know. It's better than me just keeping all of it, I guess.
Well, I mean, you know what? It's wonderful. You started this Minna Support Project almost 1 year ago. We've helped so many people, and Aggie's band is new shit on the block. Yeah, I mean, I would, I have a hard time getting emotional about things and expressing emotion.
Do it.
Or really
do it. Just
expressing.
Let it happen. Whatever's going to happen, let it happen, Isaria.
But I would not. My life has changed. Steem has changed my damn life. And a lot of that I owe directly to you. Well, finding the Minnow Support Project.
You're the first person that I built one of my gifts for. And there's a reason for that. I love you dearly. I think you're amazing. I think you're talented. I think you're smart. I think you're funny. I think you have a great heart. I think you're inquisitive, introspective, hard on yourself, and a great partner to go do this all with. And I'm blessed that I get to spend as much time with you as I do. And together, I think that we have some nice stories building, some nice, like, a nice collective vision of a better world. And I just hope that over time, more and more people will sort of share that with us. I love the fact that like I kind of get paid an ass load of money to go do all this stuff. But again, like I keep pointing to that article that Zippy shared before of how I made 7 cents in 5 posts. I was doing this for free on Facebook. I was doing this like for 7 cents when I started. Like the money's awesome, but keep in mind I'm a PhD chemist. Like I have work when I need it. I can pay my bills. Like I've said it a bunch that my family has enough. There's only 2 ways to have enough. You either continuously try and spend your entire life getting more, or you say I have enough. And I'm on the line of I already have enough, and I feel like other people need to get that too. And I will go help others do that. And I'll take whatever fortune I've gotten out of this thing and shove the vast majority of it. I think I own 120,000 Steem right now, and I think I have 100,000 of that. It's actually more than that. I have 105,000 Steem that goes back to people in community here. So it's locked up. Wonderful. I can't pull it out. I mean, this shit's worth $300,000, and it's going back to this community. And I'm proud to do it. It's fun to do. I'm going to make a post in the not too distant future when I'm going to hit 100,000 Steem power on Agrode soon, and that'll be one of my next milestone posts. But it'll talk about the fact that, like, just so you guys know, there's 100,000 Steem power that I delegate back to all these community projects, and it feeds 7,000 people a post worth every day, and I guess it's 1,500 votes a day, but it's like 7,500 unique users over the last month. I mean, I stopped self-voting, so now I give $30 in votes every day or something. Maybe it's only $20 a day, but that adds up to.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your kind words, and you've actually inspired me to help others too. And I think that is the one of the important aspects of trying to move from a scarcity mindset to abundance mindset. And as if we can all just trickle that effect out, then we can all be feeling abundance.
Yeah, it definitely only works if we all pay it forward.
Right.
I guess not everybody has to pay it forward. At some point, you have to be the poor bastard that's like, help me. I need help. And
right, but then, yeah, once you get that help, then and you start building yourself up, then you can pay it forward too.
Yeah, then you owe it. You owe me that. Like the people that I help, you fuckers owe me. You don't owe me money, but you owe me that you have to help other people. Pay this shit forward. I'm not doing it for free.
That's right. I just think the Peace Academy. You fuckers owe me. Pay that shit forward, bitches.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Unabashedly, yes. You know? But my whole motivation for being here is that I want a different world. This world blows. Like everybody's impoverished. What bugs me is that, all right, so if I'm working and I have my full-time PhD chemist salary, and when I look at like how much money I have and how much money I spend, like I am definitely in the middle class, but I don't feel like I'm a rich person. I mean, I make six figures, but that's not it doesn't afford me some like jet-setting lifestyle where I feel like I'm freaking rich. It's like, all right, I paid my mortgage, I paid my health care, and after taxes, that's like the vast majority of that salary goes to those things. And I don't even have like that expensive of a house. So I just can't imagine how other families live when I act and live as a PhD chemist, and I don't feel like I'm getting super far ahead in life. Like that.
Right. It's all relative. Like, when I lived in New York, I knew a pharmacist who made $100,000 a year and he could barely pay his bills. So,
Yeah.
it's just like, we've talked before about since the 70s that inflation has happened, but the wages have not met that.
Yeah.
So it's like, you can say, hey, I make six figures. Well, okay, but my expenses are huge and I can barely get by.
Yeah, you can
That's
own
insane.
that Lambo, but you can't put gas in it. And that's a tragedy. That one's going to keep me up.
I know.
Clay, I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray for Lambo gas for you.
Hey, and you know what Soundwave says? I'm poor as fuck, but I'm wealthy. Because you know what? He's right. Abundance is not just about monetary things. So much more involved. Emotional abundance, intellectual abundance, creative. Abundance. Yeah.
I'm always worried about his Jalang profits.
Oh, wow. I just noticed the show. Oh, well, I guess we did start late, so.
Yeah. Well, but aren't we going another 30 minutes until Clay goes on?
No, because it was only an hour for Minnow University and an hour for Peace Academy. So, and then we had that break. So, if you wanted to.
Well, I was just going to keep going.
You're going to keep going.
Yeah. Well, I decided I could put some more work into Kermie's thing too. I'm really worried. Like, as I said, I'm pretty nervous that every time I touch this thing, I devalue it more, but oh well.
Well, you could take, you could take pictures of the process, and say, listen, it started out this way and it just, consistently got worse and worse.
That would take all the sweetness out of what I'm doing. Like if I went and I took all these photos and made a blog post about it to go get paid for the work I was doing, for the gifts I was giving.
Oh, no, I didn't mean make a post. I just meant take pictures and send her the pictures so she sees the process, how it got more and more horrible. Yeah. Do you see how I demolished your gift along the way?
The thing I bought in the store, I should have just left it
right
exactly as I found it.
Just send her. It's like, listen, I was going to make you an arts and craft project, but I decided to just send you the materials.
Yeah. Here's some paint. Here's the thing. And why don't you go make it yourself? Because I suck at this. But it's from me.
Hey,
Here's a
Clay.
glass of wine.
Yeah, Clay broke 4K followers.
That counts.
4,000 followers. He's rich in followers.
Clay, how'd you do it?
Yeah, Clay, tell us your secret.
Will you pull Clay back on here?
Let's see if Clay, let's hear it.
About how we did it.
Good. Let me go get him.
Clay can just pull himself on if he.
Yeah, Clay, pop in here. I need to
need to know.
He shit posted.
Yeah, shit posted bid box.
Welcome to Minnow University. All right, Clay, get in here. Let's hear about it.
Man, you know what I was trying to do is like I was trying to go knock somebody up so I could make a post about it. But
oh, hey now. Yeah, I know some guys that do that. I got 750 votes on that. 750, Clay.
You're gonna knock someone up to get some votes. Listen, you could just make a post and say that you knocked someone up. You don't actually have to do it.
I mean, this is a scam edition. There's no rules. This is Steem It.
Hey, did you hear about Ron's recent, good fortune in that department?
No, what happened?
Yeah, Ron was apparently like on the radio a little drunk, a little late, and next thing you know, Breeze had a new addition to the farm.
Are you implying that he fucked a goat or a pig or something?
It actually was a goat. How did you know?
Well, I mean, pig fucking and goat fucking is tradition in many cultures.
All right, wait a minute. Ron did what with a goat? What is happening?
Breeze made a post about it. Ron apparently gifted her a wealth of new goatage.
Oh, I gotta check this out.
What the hell did he do?
I mean, I'm guessing he got her goat pregnant. Huh?
Is that a thing? I'd like to, Clay, the second you need your goat impregnated, I would like to sponsor that.
I mean, dude, I hear you're the guy to see.
Yes. Aggie, I'm known for that. Hey, can I, so I have a vanity thing that I'm proud of that I would like to share. Can I be vain for a moment?
Dude, don't tell me you're 3 for 3.
Oh, it's 3 for 3 on what?
Well, you said this was like, the third kid, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, are you having like 100% accuracy here, or was there like?
No, this isn't about that.
Oh, okay. You said vanity. I was like, wait.
Shit, what was I gonna say? No, I had good news, and then that kind of threw me off. What was my good news? Oh, so go into Google and go type aggroed, and I'm now the second highest hit as far as I can tell. Maybe that's just on my screen, but I think that might be on all.
You are the second highest hit?
Yeah. Google aggroed. Tell me what you see.
Hey, Google Claiborne and see what you see.
Well, yeah, but like Claiborne is not a thing. Like aggroed is a word. Aggroed actually means something.
Well, hey, according to Google, I'm the #1 search. What up?
Yeah, see, that's what I see, Zippy. I like Steem It Aggro too. And actually, what's really weird is that one of my first posts, that might actually be my literal first post there, of what does it mean to be aggroed, and that's up there. That's actually a good post of mine, I think. I think that does a good job of explaining.
Damn, check it out. On the first page of Google, if you type in Claiborne, you have my Steem It. Then you got my Twitch, which I don't use anymore, but I did for a long time. Then you got my Twitter, which I don't use again, but I did for a long time. Then you got me on Steam Korea. Because apparently,
Korea.
dude, apparently I'm big in Korea. I don't know. Hell yeah.
I done blew up in Korea.
Yeah, guys, don't worry. One day you'll be big in Korea too.
Well, imagine if you walk into Korea, you would literally be huge.
Dude, I'm imagining there's like temples dedicated to me in Korea.
Clay, that might be delusions of grandeur.
Well, yeah,
And
but
Han Solo
those are the best kind of delusions.
Han Solo warned us about those.
Yeah, what does he know? He died in the last Star Wars movie.
He did. He got fucking killed by his son. That's no good.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I imagine that anybody that wanted to see it has seen it already.
I made this really, really pretty hippie dream, and it doesn't make anybody like it. I'm going to share it again and tell you people like it.
Oh, I like that.
That could be Zippy.
Yeah, Zippy hippie.
Zippy, go take a photo that's like that and give it to Clay to deep dream it.
Wait a minute, Zippy. Why would we find Bible stuff?
Isn't Zipporah out of the Bible?
Oh.
So Agard, I have to ask.
Bibles. Yeah.
Did you ever did you ever see when I used to make memes on Steem?
You did?
I had this like extremely well. They were like Steem promotional memes, right? And one of them was like savage as fuck, right? It was I want to say it was Morpheus, and it said, "What if I told you that all those likes, shares, and like emojis weren't?" Oh fuck! I gotta go find it. Basically, it was saying like, you know, all those, you know, likes, prayers, and shares that you do don't add up to shit. But like on Steam, we can raise like $20,000 or whatever. Like this was like when the whole Darth Nava thing was going on.
So I liked there was something like that of it was a container that was empty, meaning like a shipping container, the 20-foot things. And it said, here's a picture of all your hopes and prayers going to whatever the last tragedy was. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, Shane started a kind of a fake Facebook group, just a joke about, I think he called it one share equals one prayer. And the picture that he put was just ridiculous.
What up, peeps? M1 in the house. He's fired. Oh, he's tired. He's like, what do you get fired from? Oh, 11:34. We got 26 minutes, and then it's Clay's turn.
Yeah, I think I gotta go potty and get ready.
You should. That's okay. Isaria, what other scams do the people need to be aware of? Is there a news story that you've been following? Is there anything that like captures your attention on the national stage?
No. I find that the news is fake. So I do not watch the news. I have not watched the news in years. Plus, it's designed to create anxiety. And when I was maybe 10 years ago, I was listening to a woman named Louise Hayes. And she mentioned how, you know, basically the news promotes anxiety. And I was like, you know what? You're right. So that's why I asked you that one time for the list of alternative news sources to get a more accurate representation of what is going on. Okay. So basically, I'm at the point now where I feel like when I hear something, I have no idea if it's true or not.
Yeah. That's a great concern.
So, am I following anything? I don't know what to follow. I don't know what's true. I don't know what's not true. And when I really think about it, I basically just feel anxiety.
Well, there's a Mark Twain quote for you. If you read the news, if you don't read the news, you are uninformed. If you read the news, you are misinformed.
Yeah.
Mark Twain was a pretty smart guy.
Yeah.
You know who else I liked who's even older? Voltaire. Have you had a chance to read any Voltaire?
I know who Voltaire is. I have not read Voltaire.
He's a fucking savage. Like, if Facebook trolling existed back in, Middle Ages or whatever, maybe he's Enlightenment. But if there was if whatever the equivalent of Facebook was and Facebook trolling, that's what Voltaire was doing. That sort of satire and this is bullshit.
Oh.
He's got the single best comment on fiat money out of anybody. He says all fiat monies go back to their original value, 0. Boom. Fucking boom. That guy is brilliant.
Yeah, I just found a quote here. Optimism is the madness of insisting that all is well when we are miserable. That's dark.
He is dark. That's my boy. I don't know.
Well, yeah, there's something to that. For years I thought, oh man, well, I was diagnosed with agitated depression at a young age, and always being the anxiety. So it's just basically a combination between anxiety and depression. So they called it agitated depression, and so that label was put on me. But as the years went by, I just looked at it like, what? I'm just sensitive to the world. You're labeling me with this, but really, it's the world that's screwed up.
Yeah. So there's another line like that of your compliance with a system that's inherently unhealthy is no sign of health. I mean, I forget the exact quote. I know I just butchered it, but somebody knows what I'm talking about.
Here's a Voltaire one. Those who can make you believe absurdities can make you commit atrocities.
Yes. Yes. That's that's another one. Swoop coming in with a great one. If you want to know who controls you, look at who you are not allowed to criticize.
Oh yeah.
Right now, I think that's Israel. Right, I say anything like, "Hey, maybe the Israeli government shouldn't go kill Palestinians." I'm an anti-Semite.
Oh yeah. When I first got on Facebook, I know I've said this before. I did not join social media or Facebook until about 2014, just out of
social anxiety.
The reason. I wouldn't even say it was anxiety at that point. I was just so busy with my music. I just didn't have time for it or desire. I just had no, a lot of it was being antisocial too. But yeah, when I got on and I started to get into, I was in a few political groups. I am interested in politics. I just, I think I kind of got burnt out being on Facebook with the last election and all of the fighting and the nastiness. And then right around, kind of that ended, and then I joined Steem, and I just never went back to Facebook. So I kind of got out of the whole political group. But when I was in the political groups, I just forgot my damn point.
All right. Yeah.
What were we just talking about?
No, I totally agree with that. Well, I mean, that was life-changing. Thank you, Isaria.
My fake plants died because I did not pretend to water them. Oh, I had a plant once and it died. That's sad. All right, so what was I saying about politics and Facebook?
I get so excited about gardening that I run outside and wet my plants.
Oh.
I'm not embarrassed to have wet my plants. It happens.
Yeah, it does happen.
Nothing to be ashamed of there.
Yeah.
All right.
Very true. Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you about. Yes, that was my point. That was my point.
I don't know how that leads to anything valid, but this is great.
The wedding of the plants made me remember when I was in the Facebook groups and I was reading and learning about the Israeli and the Pakistan conflict and all that.
Palestine.
Not Pakistan. Palestine conflict. Yeah, and I made a comment about the Gaza Strip, or what is it?
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and I said, well, it didn't seem right that they seemed like they were ruining these people's lives. Like, why are they fucking with these people? And I got bombarded like I was the most evil person in the world.
Yeah, how dare you? How dare you say anything bad about Israel?
So why is that?
Because they're the people that run everything, and you're not allowed to criticize them. And they made it so that they pushed the Holocaust in front of you every single day in school and in the news and everything else, so that you can't attack the Jews. They were the victims of the Holocaust. They're victims. They're victims. Look, they're victims. They were the victims of this. Look at how many died. Every single person in the world knows that 6 million Jews died during the Holocaust. So, and they hide behind that. And, like, if I then say, hey, maybe they shouldn't murder people that they took land from, that's somehow me being horribly insensitive. As if, like, how could I say something so horrible? But this came from my Meme the News today. Okay.
But why are they trying to take that land?
So check this. This is WikiLeaks. Israeli officials have confirmed to embassy officials on multiple occasions that they intend to keep the Gaza economy functioning at the lowest level possible, consistent with avoiding a humanitarian crisis. The lowest level possible. That's the current plan. And so if I go and say something like, hey, maybe we shouldn't make these people live in like starvation conditions, I'll get attacked. If I were to say that on Facebook, there'd be like 8 million trolls on me.
Yeah, that's what happened to me.
Like, somebody's going to yell at me and be like, they're our closest ally, and the Bible says we have to support them. And it's like, they break, like there's a UN Charter on Human Rights, and I think Israel is the #1 violator of those rules. I had another post about it where they were comparing Saddam Hussein, who broke 2 of those, and we invaded, and currently the Israelis have 72 actual infractions where they've just broken the like UN codes or UN laws of like humanitarian rules. They've been busted 72 times. Nobody invades them.
Jesus.
Then you have all these.
Ron said Ron said it's illegal in South Carolina to criticize Israel.
Really?
In public schools.
Yeah. Well, everything's illegal in public schools. So I mentioned that. Here's this thing. So just so people can see, I posted this. This is the unsealed indictment for Anthony Weiner. That's a big one. So, and here's this. This actually sums it up pretty good. So Jordan Sather, and he might actually come on the Minnow Mayor Town Hall, not this Sunday, but next. So today's questionable incidents: Santa Fe shooting, Cuban plane crash, the Trump Golf Club incident, and vehicle striking people in the Bronx. Those are big story, get your attention things. And here are some major stories. All the Chilean bishops resigned over like sexual allegations in the Catholic Church. Inspector General report on Hillary is about to drop. That's Inspector General Horowitz. That's going to be some big news. The mainstream media, every single person was talking. So Trump said these people are animals, and Trump's and like the media came out and said, "Oh, Trump is calling all immigrants animals," when he was clearly talking about um, like the gang members that they are deporting. So he wasn't saying like all immigrants are animals. He's saying these MS-13 like people covered in tattoos that are violent criminals or animals. And the other piece is not only Wiener's laptop, but that indictment. So this is what I've picked up on in the media is that when you have a story that's epic, like the Las Vegas shooting, like Columbine, like the Santa Fe thing, like the wherever David Hogue's event took place, when you have them and they're at that level of noise, and the mainstream media is pushing it as hard as they freaking can, that's a time to pause and say, okay, first off, this thing is probably bullshit. And second off, what story most recently was number one headline that they no longer want there? Because that's what these things do. As effed up as this is to like when you eat a food and then you're supposed to go drink milk as a palate cleanse to go get sort of a neutral palate again. These stories are meant to go wipe away your like recent memory of whatever story was important, and you're supposed to focus on these things now.
Right. Ron put in the post. U.S. state passes law defining any criticism of Israel as anti-Semitic. And this was after Israel killed more than 60 Palestinians.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you can't criticize that because obviously if you say you shouldn't kill these 60 people, the only reasonable conclusion is you're anti-Semitic.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
I've been
that's exactly what
scarred.
happened when I went into Facebook, because I was just learning about it and I didn't understand why everyone was on Israel's side, and I still don't understand it.
Have you seen any of the two shots, one kill? Do you know what that's a reference to?
No.
I mean, this is trigger warning shit. I mean, I normally make fun of trigger warnings, but this has been disturbing me. So like the Israeli soldiers are literally shooting pregnant women in an attempt to not only kill the woman but also shoot and kill the baby. Like it's about as disturbing as anything else I've ever seen. Like if you want some epic dystopian shit, you just look at what the Palestinians are living through at the hands of the Israelis. And does that mean that every single Jew is some like reptilian born child pedivore, like literally eating children? No. But does it mean that like, some of these people are being brought up in some extreme religious environments that are like teaching them to hate other people against uh, all natural goodness? Yes. And that, I mean, that's disturbing. It's just fucked up.
That is fucked up.
I don't know. They literally have like shirts that the Israeli soldiers wear of one shot, two kills. I mean, it's just, uh,
Because they killed the woman and her baby with
yep,
one shot. That's
yep.
disgusting.
Two shots, one kill. Where's Israel? It is Israel. Maybe if I put that in there too. Oh, here it is. Here's the shirt. Boink. So, it's not like I run around and like want to see this stuff. And actually, a lot of the other images here are just even worse. Just knowing that the shirt exists is fucked up enough. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's a shirt that the Israeli government purchased for the soldiers, and that there's even like I think there's a bounty system for this. So I'm not positive about that because you can't read any of these things without running into like seriously anti um, like there are groups that are clearly anti-Semitic, and so it's really hard to like find decent articles about these things that, you know, the people that get to the point of actually like talking negatively about Israel, um, sometimes they do get extreme. So it's really hard to find any kind of reasonable news where they haven't been so entirely politicized by this stuff. So when you said, you know, it's really hard to find an accurate news source, I mean, that's been my challenge for freaking years and years and years.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. Alan L. Farm says the fact that there is actually a law not allowing you to question something proves the evil behind it. I'm surprised Americans are just taking this. That's the thing, is like the little liberties that are just taken away, the schnitzel at a time, and then you put out the news story, the next news story, to distract people, so that, you know, you may get, it's like, what? I can't believe they did that. Then the next day, there's some other news story that you're distracted by, and then you have to go to work. So, and then you have to pay your bills.
Yep.
And, you know, they do it a little at a time.
Yep. I know that this system is so broken. So we have like 8 minutes and then Clay comes on. What do you have that's uplifting?
All right, let's do uplifting.
I'm not ending this thing on 2 shots, 1 kill. I refuse.
Right. Okay, I'm laughing at Clay. Okay. Let's see, uplifting. So, Steem went back up, right? It's around $3.
Yeah, that's positive.
It was down a little bit, and it's going back up. We have some wonderful communities for everyone to enjoy, to make friends.
305.
We have some
SPD. What? No, that can't be. These are all Steem. Something happened when it reloaded. I gotta go fix it so I can see the prices. SPD, USD. What are we actually trading at? 219. That's pretty shitty. That's a pretty shitty SPD price.
Yeah.
What about BTC? Where's that at? SDT.
We have amazing content on Steemit, and we have a nice handful of wonderful whales and dolphins that go around and upvote post. Initiatives like Curie, our Minnow Support Project curation team, that will go around and they're finding posts. We have the open mic community. Lots of great stuff on Steemit.
Yeah.
Even though we are down compared to where we were over the holidays, I have hope that it will rise again.
Yeah. We just need, Bitcoin's going to rally when it rallies. I mean, we're going to see $20 SPD again. That's my thought. It's just a matter of time.
Just a matter of time.
I mean, there's fewer SPD in circulation than there are Bitcoin. Like, let that rattle around in your noodle for a while. And then as these things get involved in more and more transactions, I'm pretty certain that the value is going to keep going up and up and up and up.
Up and up.
All right, so I think we have 6 minutes or less. What do you want to do? Because I feel happy now. I'm totally, I'm in the zone. I'm in that happy zone. I know that I'm in a safe spot and everything's amazing. I wonder if that's in the shot or not. Oh, thank God it's not. I'm gonna say, so I've been swimming every single day for like 3 months. I'm tired of being fat and I'm actively fixing it. When
Good.
I swim, I actually get like totally cracked feet. So I bought this lotion, and it's a big bottle of lotion, and it's on my desk near my computer. I imagine that had this been in the shot this whole time, people would be like, what the fuck is Aggie doing? And I look over here and I see this giant bottle of lotion. Oh God, I hope that wasn't in the shot. I hope it's not there. These people are are gonna think I'm a freaking chronic masturbator.
Right.
So, but it turns out, look, this wasn't in the shot. But here's your
It's
random
for
thought.
it's for your quote feet.
Yeah, it's for my feet, my cracked feet. I don't know. They hurt like that. Like there was, I don't know. The skin cracked on my big toe. I like peeled off some of the dead skin, but it pulled at some of the live skin. And so it
Oh, I
bled a
hate
little
that.
bit, and then it like
Yeah.
then I had all this like sharp pain for the next 4 days because it
Oh,
I
that
think it got
sucks.
like a mild, not like badly infected, but you know when it gets a little red, so it gets tender. So like I was
Mm-hmm.
limping around on my big toe because I was swimming. Like there's some weird shit that
You know what?
legitimately requires some lotion.
Sometimes you gotta have lotion, and you know what? That's the funny thing about working
It
out.
puts the
It's
lotion
like
on.
working out can cause pain,
It
and
does.
so it's a good thing, but then there's always that side effect. I know after whatever.
The
So
endorphins. You're talking endorphins. The endorphin rush.
yeah. Well, I'm glad you're swimming. That's
Yeah.
good.
No, I feel good. I'm losing weight. I'm getting ripped. I know you don't see it, but look, I got my fucking guns. My guns are coming.
Uh-oh,
They
he's
used to be
he's
cut,
bringing out the guns.
and I did. I'm putting them away, but
Oh, okay.
the muscles are coming back. The muscle memory of being a young cut 18-year-old wrestler will eventually return, and this fat guy you see in front of you will be finally transformed back into a. I don't know if I'll get to be handsome again. I don't think I'll ever reach what handsomeness I had at 18. Like, because even if I got as fit now, like, can a 40-year-old be as good looking as
Yes.
like a fit 18 or 20-year-old?
Yes.
Do you think so?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that, yeah. I
Well,
find many 40-year-old men attractive. Oh, wait, don't tell Shane that.
yeah.
Did Shane hear that? I only find Shane attractive.
Good. Good. Yeah, the only challenge I see with that is that Kevin might get upset about that.
Right, yeah. Yeah, Kevin's pissed off right now.
Where is Kevin, by the way?
Oh, he's of course playing World of Warcraft
Is he?
in the other
Is he
room.
streaming it?
He better be at least streaming it.
If you're gonna play, you better make some goddamn money doing it.
I know, right? Come on, man.
That's where.
Okay, yes, Nathan, you are quite attractive, as is Aggrode.
I'm in your 40s.
Well, you're younger than 40.
I mean, but he's also got that sexy Australian accent.
Oh yeah. Oh, and he's also a one-man band, so I mean that kind of
He
knocks
does
him
have a
up
band.
about 1,000 notches.
He's got the didge.
Join the Peace Academy as Aggrode and Asari lose their minds.
Yeah, it's getting to be that witching hour. You know, it's midnight. It's about to shift over to midnight. The show's going to go to Clay any minute now, and which is good because both Azari and I have clearly lost our mind, clearly lost the focus of the show, and now it's just the sit around and talk some shit with Azari and Agro show.
Yeah.
But all right, we got 30 seconds. I guess I should say, we'll say some words. Hippopotamus.
Words.
Can, water bottle, footwear. That's it for the Peace
And
Academy.
lotion.
Puts the lotion on, or it gets the Peace Academy. You guys are a great audience. Thanks for being here. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you had some fun. Hopefully you enjoy Clay's show. Good night, everybody.
Yay, good night.
All right, let me stop this recording.